wanted to get into a little bit of a business conversation with you guys. A lot of people are starting to get smart and they're starting up their own company under their artist name or for their label, these kinds of things. And what this does is this provides you with liability coverage in case there is some kind of claim filed against you, whether it's, let's say you throw a show and somebody slips and falls at the venue passes the buck onto you, you get sued. If you get sued and you have your own LLC or company, they can go after the company's assets but not your personal assets. And it's a buffer for protection, basically. That's one of the benefits. Another benefit is you can write pretty much everything off as an expense. And this doesn't mean that you get the money back, but it does mean if you write something off as a business expense, at the end of the year, if the government says, okay, you made $45,000, you go through your receipts and you say, nope, no I did not, this is an expense, so is this, and it allows you to break down your income as low as you possibly can to, let's say, $5,000 on paper. Nope, I only made $5,000, the rest was all expenses, and then you only have to pay taxes on that $5,000. So this is why people go into business for themselves, is to lower the amount of taxes. And there's a lot of breaks and incentives, and business is structured that way. This country is structured that way. A business owner has more rights than a regular citizen. That's unfortunate if you're not a business owner, but for us business owners, we get a lot of breaks because of it, and they're structured to actually encourage you to find these loopholes and to work with them. It benefits everybody in the long run. So each state has its own filing fee, and they vary like extreme. Here in Michigan, I got lucky. It's only $50 to register a business, whereas I think California's upwards to around $500 plus some extra stuff, licensing and fees like that. So I've actually heard of people coming from out of state to start their businesses in Michigan, but what you really have to pay attention if you take this route, make sure that you're actually making income and that your income is not going out as soon as it comes in. So if you actually have you're in the black at the end of the year, starting a business is probably for you. If you have services and things like that on top of your artist product, this is probably something you should think of, because it allows you to do certain things like copyright names a little more solid than just writing it down on a piece of paper. Trademarking, that costs additional money, but at least you have the ability to file. What else can I tell you guys about this really quickly? So the basic structure is a DBA, and that's doing business as. The next above that is LLC, which is limited liability company, and above that is a corporation, which is usually abbreviated with Inc. on the end. And the difference between a corporation and all the other ones below it is a corporation, I think, has to have at least 3 members and they own shares. It's not a membership. Whereas the other businesses, they own a percentage of the company and they're considered members, not shareholders. And in order to maintain a corporation, you have to have a certain amount of meetings per year. I believe it's 1 a month. I'm not entirely sure because I have an LLC, not a corporation yet. You can set up multiple LLCs if you want to. It's a little bit of extra work, but it keeps things a little bit separate. You just have to start new bank accounts and things like that and keep your taxes and your receipts separate. Books, keep different books. Another great advantage of having your own business, especially under your artist name, is venues, promoters, booking agents, industry people, they don't want to really do business with an individual. They want to do business with a business. So this basically opens up a lot more doors that would be closed in your face before. If you end up getting yourself into a situation where you're a commodity and there's a label willing to sign you or something like that. Basically, they have to buy your company because your artist name is the company. So they're no longer signing a person, they're buying a company. And you can evaluate your company's worth and assign a dollar amount to what you are actually worth. So where before they used to give you an advance, which was recoupable, meaning they could get that back from you out of your sales, this time it's not so much an advance, they're buying your company and all that cash is yours. So that's also a deterrent. A lot of times it'll scare off labels and they'll just kind of go running for the hills, like, oh no, we don't want to deal with that. Other times they might give you the money and buy you just to shelf you, which is fine. You just start a new fucking project or whatever, but it does give you a little more control and liability coverage in those situations as well. It gives you a lot of contractual power. You can put a lot more negotiables into it, and that's the important shit. Being an independent is having control over your own business and your own art and your own product. So that's the basics of it. I'm still learning a lot myself. I don't really know a whole shitload, but that's the information I have for you guys so far. Once you start to become more serious, think about getting your own DBA or LLC for your artist name. But don't jump into this kind of thing. It's not something you should do unless you're actually making income. It will fuck you. So there's lots of information online. Just look it up. And happy hunting.